This is my next attempt at a test for doing a multi-touch surface or a table. And this test is just testing multiple infrared receivers at the same time. My previous demo just had one. So the setup is an Arduino connected to the computer via serial, and you'll see what that's all about in a second. I have 10 infrared receivers all in a line here. And at the other end I have an infrared LED which is currently on. You can see it right there. And so what's going to happen is the infrared LED is, well, emitting light across this table right now, and these receivers are picking it up. If I was to place my finger in front of one of these, the line between the infrared emitter and receiver is broken, and I can detect that, and that's what I'm sending over serial. You will see that in a second, is the status of each of these receivers. So the idea is that if I move my finger back and forth, these beams are going to break, and I can determine where my finger is in this direction. So I don't know if I'll be able to if the contrast will work where I can show both my finger and the screen at the same time. Probably not. So I'll just show this, and I'll move my finger across, and you can see that I'm detecting that, and I can stop or go back whichever direction I want. I can also put down another finger in the line and move them independently. So the ultimate idea is that what's contained right here will be a module. There'll be, I think I'm going to have about 8 infrared receivers per module. And what I hope to be able to do is to hook them together, daisy chain them into a rectangular frame, and by shooting off these emitters in sequence and figuring out which receivers are getting the signal, you can figure out where there's different touches or whatever on a table. In order to be daisy chaining them together, I've got some logic gates, some shift registers, and some flip-flops, and some other logic things. This is actually one that I got here. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, so you can see just how small these things are. I'm having a very tough time soldering them. I got to get some through-hole mounted ones instead of surface mount. You can't even see this, it's not going to focus, but that's an 8-bit shift register. And just to give you a size, there it is right there, and there's about 8 pins on each side, so I was not able to actually solder that very well. And actually these are either flip-flops or buffers, I don't remember which one right here, but if you can see, each one of these little squares is actually a logic integrated circuit, and it's going to be impossible for me to solder this with the equipment I have. So I need to get some through-hole mounted integrated circuits, but that'll be my next test, is to actually turn this into a module on strip board instead of just this proto board here. And I'll try to hook 2 of them together with some shift registers and see if I can do this detection in 2 dimensions by having a module like this and then a module like this. So that will be the next demo.